This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Alright, what's going on, you guys? So I have a quick little video for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about how you can get started shooting film on your paid shoots, and whether that be portrait photography, event photography, it really could be anything. And the scope of field for this one is going to be kind of broad because I feel like this applies to most photography genres. Now, we just came back from an engagement shoot that I did over the weekend. We traveled up north a couple hours, and as I was photographing the couple, I realized how comfortable I was shooting film on a paid shoot. And this is huge because a long time back, before when I was just getting started with these shoots, I would only shoot on digital, and it was something that, shooting film on a paid shoot was something that I just never really thought of until maybe, the last year or two. But I do think though, guys, if you do end up shooting film on your paid shoots, it could add a whole new dynamic. Everybody wants that film look nowadays, so why not just shoot some film? So without further ado, you guys, again, let's go ahead and just jump right in, man. Grab some coffee, sit back. It's a short one, but let's jump in. Okay, guys, so one of the hardest things for me when I was getting started with, incorporating my film work into my main digital workflow was introducing the idea to clients. And there's a couple of different ways you can go about this. One, you can tell them up front, hey, I want to shoot some film alongside my digital stuff. And most of the time, if you're not, basing your entire kind of photography around film, the clients are going to be either very curious as to what film is, because a lot of people don't really shoot film anymore, or two, very skeptical on the safety and security of the photographs that they are going to take. And I've had instances where film rolls weren't developed properly, and so a lot of those images were really bad, and so sometimes whole entire shoots go out the window. So the first option is just to tell them up front, and try to be as clear as possible. You're going to shoot alongside your digital camera, but you want to start introducing film into your workflow. Or two, you just don't tell them and you just take a camera along with you while you shoot digitally. Now, in my opinion, this can go either way. If you want to tell them up front, that's honestly the more honest way. But I will be honest with you, before I have taken, my Sony, for example. My Sony is what I'm filming with right now. I took my Sony and I strapped over one of these guys right here. This is like a Canon EOS 3. It looks a lot like a digital camera, but it is a film camera, as you guys can see from the, no screen on the back. This camera, to a lot of people, non-photographers at least, they're gonna think this is just like a random Canon DSLR, and so it adds that extra sense of comfortability because it's not necessarily film. So if you have a camera that looks like this, maybe even something cheaper like this one right here, this is 20 bucks. You buy that 50mm lens and you have a DSLR looking camera that you can incorporate into your workflow. So let them know honestly you want to start shooting film into your shoots. Or two, you just kind of take the film camera out, snap some photographs. If it turns out good, then great, send it along, and kind of play around with it, see how it goes. All you're really trying to do now is all in preparation for tip number 2. Now, tip number 2, you guys, is very simple. Just like you would build any other portfolio, I would highly recommend you guys build your own separate film photography portfolio. Now, I remember as I started to incorporate more film photography in my paid shoots, I realized that I was accumulating a lot of work, random work. So one was an event. I remember I shot, family portraits with another one, and all of these different occurrences just started popping up. And then I had this backlog of film photography work that I did submit to our clients as well, but the film stuff was getting up there. So my next tip for you guys would be to build a film photography portfolio. It makes it easier to just go to your client and say, I'm also an avid film shooter and I would love to photograph your wedding on film. I think it would add a great dynamic to the overall look and feel of your wedding photographs. And so if that's something you are comfortable with, I also offer a film photography package on the side, and which can lead into other different areas. So start small, build that portfolio up, and then now you have something to show when you tell your clients that you also shoot film. And with that said, I want to thank our sponsor for today's video, Squarespace. Squarespace is your all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Now, you guys already know, man, I built my website through Squarespace, and that is where you can book me for any shoot. That is where you can see my portfolio, you can go onto my online shop, you can buy prints. You can pretty much access all of my services on my website. And what's really cool about Squarespace is that they have award-winning templates for portfolios or even for like appointment bookings. And just to be able to have all of your information, all of your pricing, all of your portfolio work in one single place, it's essential for portrait photographers. So if you guys want to get started with your own website, man, Squarespace is hooking you guys up with 10% off of a domain or website. All you got to do is head over to squarespace.com/kingjapes or enter promo code kingjapes at checkout for 10% off. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's continue on. Now, tip number 3, you guys, is gonna be all focusing around starting small. Now, you could just 100% go film only and, you know, completely cut off all your digital stuff. I've seen people do it and some of them are very successful in it, but if you want to take it the safe route, you got to start small. So what I always did when I first started introducing film into my work was I pretty much still shot everything on the digital camera, especially on paid shoots, but I would take one roll of film with me. And little by little, that confidence started to increase to where I brought 2 rolls of film, then 3 rolls of film. And then it ended up being like, I can shoot an entire thing on film if I really wanted to. And it's that kind of starting small mindset that not only is easier for your clients to feel more comfortable with, but also for you to have that peace of mind that you're still gonna be able to have those digital files, but you have your film files on the side. This idea with starting small also works with the type of gear you're using. At one point, a lot of like my lifestyle stuff, I did kind of side work with the XA. Then it moved over into stuff like this, the EOS, you know, Rebels, the EOS 3. And then nowadays, like you guys are gonna see here in kind of like this little clip, I pretty much shot the entire wedding. I think I shot about 5 rolls with the Pentax 6.7. This is a pretty big camera, and I remember pulling it out and they were like, man, that thing's a beast. Not everybody's gonna respond that way. It might be a little bit uncomfortable for them to see a camera this big. So, you know, keeping that in mind, start small with your camera gear. Work yourself up. And maybe if you already own a medium format camera, I would take that out maybe just for the last 15 minutes of the shoot. But just remember to slowly work it in. And that's honestly one of the ways you're gonna build your confidence with shooting film for any type of paid work. And the last and final tip that I have for you guys could either be at the very end or it could be at the very start. And that would be to get really comfortable with shooting film and the different type of film types there are. Now, the reason why I say this is because you can put, you know, any of these cameras on program mode and just shoot away. But once you start to shoot film, maybe you've been shooting film for a year, you might not always know how different film stocks react to different situations, different color. We don't get to always see what the result looks like right away. And so what ends up happening is there's going to be a lot of guessing and hoping that these images are going to turn out right. But if you can kind of take some time to get comfortable, shoot different film stocks, you know, experiment a lot, and then find the film stocks that work for you, you can develop a very solid foundation for knowing what film stocks you like, what colors you're going to get out of it, what to expect, and, you know, have a more consistent overall final product. And this is huge because when you shoot film, there's going to be a lot of inconsistencies throughout, especially if you're going to be shooting different film stocks. Narrow it down to 2 to 3 film stocks that you enjoy, 1 black and white and 2 color, and then utilize those film stocks to your advantage. Personally, for me, Portrait 400 is like one of the most versatile film stocks. I can shoot it in fall, autumn, I can shoot it in summer, I can shoot it in winter. It works out really well. But in terms of like black and white film, I would go for something like T-Max. It's a little bit more low contrast. Once you kind of develop these consistencies and you figure out what cameras, what gear, what film stocks work for you and give you that look, you can develop that portfolio even better and deliver more consistent results, which is going to get you more clients because they'll see that, you know, these are things that you can stay on top of even though you're shooting film. And once you can do that, you'll be able to build that confidence for you to just maybe even shoot film 100% of the time. So thank you guys, man, for tuning in. I told you guys this was going to be a somewhat quick video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But that's going to wrap it up, man, for this time. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, Minolta Gang.